Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we're gonna be talking about my first impression when I landed in Texas. So let's get to it. So the first thing that I experienced landing in Texas was the heat. We were parked next to the door at the airport, so it was like 10 steps, and the heat was just like, whoa, what have I got myself into? It was so hot, just taking 10 steps. But remember, we've got suitcases and I've got a pram. What is a pram? Yeah, stroller. Yeah. I'm looking for a word, stroller. I'm correct, a pram. A stroller. I'm pushing a stroller, and my husband is picking up suitcase, and I had a carry-on, pulling the carry-on, but the heat was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on? And my husband, the way he made me feel better was, oh well, this is just nothing. This, wait till it gets hot. I'm like, okay. Maybe I need to go back. I was like, okay, maybe I need to go back to New York. And the second thing was, while we were driving out of the airport, and I was like, the road were like so big, very wild, and on top of each other. Like, well, I was like, what's going on? Why it has to be this big? The freeways are just so big on top of each other. There's 4 lanes in the road, and it just amazes you if this is your first time in Texas. It was my first time landing here, and seeing it, I was just so amazed. And my first thought was, did they forget that they need to put a road going somewhere, and they're like, oh well, we just need to put it now. They put it on top of the other one, they put it on top of the other one. It was just so amazing seeing it. The third thing was, now we're driving to our apartment. I was like, okay, why there's so many apartments? There's so many apartments in the road, left, right. You just see so many apartments, different kinds, offering different things. It's so just amazing to see how many apartments are here in Texas. And not only just where we're staying, we went to Dallas. It's the same thing too. When we were driving down to Houston, it was just the same thing. And when you get to Houston, it's just the same thing too. You will see lots of apartments on your way. So it's very, very important when you come to Texas. I would say just don't settle with the first apartment you find, because probably you won't like it. You will start seeing other apartments and you'll be like, oh, maybe I should have picked this one. They all offer different things, so don't be too quick to make a choice in where you're going to stay. That would be my advice. Well, the fourth thing was, this one I didn't recognize it after the first week we were here, because obviously we were driving around, and I started noticing how many churches are here. In the street, I will see like 2-3 churches. I'll be like, wow, there's so many churches here. You will see a lot of churches. So if you're a church goer, don't worry, you will find a home. You will definitely find a home. There's so many churches, and not even far from where you're gonna stay. Probably you're gonna find one right around the corner. And the last one is this is my last one, the difference between the cities. So if you're planning to move down to Texas, you should do your research very, very well. Don't just say, oh well, I'm just going to Dallas, and then, oh well, I'm going to Houston, or I'm going to Fort Worth. There's just total difference in all this town. So we stay in Fort Worth. So in Fort Worth, the one thing that I noticed is how laid back the people are. It's so laid back. in everywhere. It's just so laid back. You'll find people wearing leggings and t-shirt and a hat in everywhere. It's just so laid back. And then when you go to Dallas, you're like, whew, wow. Then you kind of feel like you're in a different place. And Dallas and Fort Worth is not even that far, but just you being in Dallas. I remember the first time I went to Dallas, I was like, oh my gosh, this is where I belong. Because of just how it is. It was just a different vibe, the different feeling. Everything was just different. You see a lot of young couples, young people, young mothers, the way they dress. It's just so kind of like Brooklyn. I felt that vibe when I was in Dallas. I was like, this feels like you in Brooklyn. It's just totally different vibe. So if you're moving down to Texas, my advice would be just make your research. Just don't move anywhere, because you're gonna be amazed. I'm not saying Fort Worth is bad. It's not bad at all. I like it a lot. You know, Dallas is it's just next door to us, so I can just drive to Dallas if I want to and spend the day there. But Fort Worth, like I said, is so laid back. It's very chill. They're calling it a cow town. I don't know why they call it cow town, because of farms, but yeah, I see a lot of farms, like cows and horses, when we're driving to my husband's work. I see that a lot, but it's not bad. You enjoy it. It's nice. It's just when you're in Dallas, then you get a total different vibe. Same thing when we went to Houston. I felt a different vibe in Houston. Even though when we went to downtown in Houston, it was the 4th of July, so everything was closed, was on holiday, so I didn't see a lot of people, but I was able to see just a little bit of it, and it was beautiful. It was just a nice place. We're gonna go back there, and I'm gonna have more information about it and maybe a different vibe. But it was, to me, Houston was I didn't feel the same vibe as Dallas. Let me say that. Not that I'm biased with Dallas, but I didn't feel the same vibe with Houston. Houston, I felt nothing. to be honest, I didn't feel nothing. It was beautiful, big buildings. You know, the road, same thing, but it was just, I didn't feel anything, unlike in Dallas. So I'm going back end of the month. Obviously this time we're gonna go downtown, because I want to go and see and experience and have a feel of how it feels, how our people are, and all that. But Dallas, for me, I loved it. I love Dallas. If you look at the style, the apartments, Dallas it's where probably I'll move to if I have to move. Anyway, this is my 5 things that I first experienced when I got to Texas. I'm having a great time in Texas. I'm loving being in Texas. I think I can make Texas a home, and I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And please tell me what you think of Texas. If you're new just like me, what was your first impression? What did you think of it? And what are the things that I should think about or should do? Anyway, thank you so much. See you in my next vlog.